Okay, good morning to all of you. We will wait for 2 more minutes for the fifth students at present. Meanwhile, a small instruction. Group admins. Okay, a small instruction. Most probably the group admins also going to be changed. Meanwhile, we are not able to post any messages in WhatsApp group. You have to remember that all of you has to join the link, same link. The same link will be used for the entire session, so therefore don't. For the next class also you have to use the same link. For tomorrow class also you have to use the same link only. There won't be any new links going to be posted in our WhatsApp group. Okay, and there won't be any messages also. Join the group according to the timetable. You have to join the group. Okay. Only CR class representatives having the right to post the messages in the WhatsApp. Most probably today or tomorrow in the group, this one also going to be changed. Group admins. Yeah, I think so. You have understand what I have said. There won't be any new links in our group. Same link we had to use for all the classes, all the days. Okay, that link will be used for all the online sessions. Okay, I think so. You are seeing my screen. My voice is audible. Anyone respond? Or,
Yes,
oh,
sir.
okay then. There is no problem. Okay, we will start our session. Um, Today, last class we have seen the regarding syllabus, all these, and we have started our first chapter. The first chapter we have seen the definitions and some nonlinear waveforms, non-sinusoidal waveforms, and we have started our first topic, that is high pass circuit. Okay, here we are I think so we are at this point. Uh, okay then. On one more point is all of you maintain the running notes. Okay, today we are going to be discussing some concepts regarding your gate bits also. Therefore, all of you maintain running notes and keep a separate notes for your PDC. Most probably, if the colleges are not reopened, this will be your final classes. This will be your final classes, and you have to write your external exams also by using these online sessions. Therefore, has you have to get ready for your external exams. Most probably you don't have any textbooks also. Therefore, better to write the running notes. Okay, after completion of my unit one, I will share you this PPT. Okay, I will share you this PPT. Meanwhile, for your reference, go to write the running notes. Okay. Okay, last class we have seen the high pass circuit. High pass circuit is nothing but simply we may have the C and R in series combination has this capacitor won't allows the lower frequencies. Since we know that this capacitor having the frequency at this denominator has the low frequency, that means F value is very low value. The F value is very low, then automatically. the total value becomes very large. Therefore, for low frequencies, this capacitor is going to offering the high impedance. As it is offering the high impedance, low frequency, that means high frequency. If suppose if I put the F value as 0, if I put the F value as 0, 1 by 0 is nothing but infinite. Infinite means this may act as an open circuit. It is going to act as an open circuit, and your capacitor, if it is open, okay, therefore there won't be any signal to the output side. Therefore, it will block the low frequencies. It will block the low frequencies. As the frequency increases, if we say that frequency equal to infinite, 1 by infinite is 0. Therefore, it is going to act as a short circuit. It is going to act as a short circuit, and it allows the high frequency signals to the output. Therefore, we are going to call it as a high pass circuit. Okay, high pass circuit means a circuit which allows the higher frequencies, to the output terminal. That circuit we are going to call it as a high pass circuit. Low pass circuit means the circuit which allows the lower frequencies and blocks the higher frequencies. That circuit we are going to call it as a low pass circuit. Okay, therefore you have an idea that what do you mean by high pass circuit. Okay, now in our subject we are going to dealing with transfer function of this high pass circuit. Okay, therefore now you have to know that how to derive the transfer function. This one. Okay, actually in our subject we won't have any transfer function derivation.
Uh,
Problem.
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, now. Uh, that is regarding your high pass circuit. Okay, your high pass circuit means which are going to allowing the higher frequencies, which are going to allowing the higher frequencies only, and it will stop the lower frequencies. Now we will see some shortcut how to find out the transfer functions. Okay, transfer function for this type of circuits. Already in our control systems, we have derived the transfer functions for an electrical network. If we have an electrical network of RLC, and simply you are going to write the KCL and KVL. KCL and KVL for this loop. Okay, for this loop, you are going to writing the KCL and KVL, and input side and output side. You are going to finding out the relation between output by input. Okay, which may be a lengthy process. Okay, now we won't require those process. Simply this process you can use in your gate also. given, when an electrical circuit is given, in order to find out the transfer function, you can use this concept. Okay. First of all, before deriving the transfer function, you have to have an idea that Laplace transform for RLC elements. I think so you have an idea. For an R, Laplace transform will be R itself. Okay, there won't be any change. For an L, Laplace transform will be L into S. L into S. For an C, Laplace transform is 1 by Cs. 1 by Cs. Okay, these 3 points you have to know it. Okay, if you want to find out the transfer function directly, therefore you have to write the Laplace transform for your electrical network. That means our electrical network is capacitor and resistance. This is our electrical network. Here we are having the input, and here we are going to derive the output. Okay, for this circuit we have to find out the Laplace transform. Therefore you have to take the instead of C. Okay, instead of C, you have to write the Laplace transform for this capacitor. Instead of R, you have to write the Laplace transform for this resistance. Okay, that means for a capacitor, Laplace transform is nothing but 1 by Cs. 1 by Cs. 1 by Cs is nothing but Laplace transform for your capacitor. For resistance, that is nothing but a R. Okay, for a resistance, it is R. If you have an inductor, if it is an LR network, then instead of capacitor, you may have the inductor. There you have to take the LS. Okay, simply you have to take the LS as the Laplace transform. Well, this point you have to remember. Next one is the shortcut. How we are going to finding out the Laplace transform or transfer function. How we are going to. This is your step 1. First step is you have to take the Laplace transform for your circuit. Second step is you have to use some shortcut formula, that is directly you can write the transfer function, that is output by Laplace transform of output. Therefore, V of S by input, that is Vi of S. Vi of S. Directly you can write as, first of all you have to take the numerator as parallel elements. Parallel elements, that means R. Okay, this is your shortcut. You have to, we will see different type of circuits also. First, how you are going to write means, first you have to write the parallel element R divided by total impedance. Total impedance is nothing but a R plus 1. R plus 1 by Cs. 1 by Cs. Okay. If you make simplification, you may get a transfer function here. Okay. Now you may get a doubt that if you have a more number of elements, simply it is a single element, single loop circuit. Therefore, you have derived easily. If we have a, for example, if we have an RLC, if we have an RL and R, and we may have the C. For this circuit, you have to write the transfer function. Simply, you can take the first step is Laplace transform. That is L into S, R, and 1 by Cs. 1 by Cs. Okay. Please make a note all these concepts because you won't find in our test book. Okay. Those are preparing for GATE also. It will be useful. Okay. Finding the transfer function for an electrical network. Okay. Please make a note. Therefore, for this circuit also same fashion. First of all, you have to take the parallel element. Parallel element is 1 by Cs divided by total impedance. Total impedance is Ls plus R plus 1 by Cs. Plus 1 by Cs. Okay. Therefore, this is the, if you make a simplification, if you take the LCM and the simplification, you may get a transfer function for this network. If we have a more number of loops, if we have a that means if you have your circuit is like this, here you may have one element, let it be Z1. Okay, and similarly here parallel you may have another element, let it be Z2, and we may have one more element, that be Z3. Okay, and another element you may have. That means you have a loop. Okay, you have an electrical circuit. Okay, like this you have a circuit. Okay, where Z1, Z2, Z3 are these elements are nothing but your RLC element. Here you may have an inductor, here also you may have resistance, and here you may have the capacitor. Okay, here you may have the resistance. We have a different elements here. Okay, we have a different electrical elements. Okay, in place of Z1, Z2, and Z3. If we have a like this circuit, okay, this is the standard formula where we are using where we had applied in previous case. Okay, first step is you have to write the parallel elements. Here parallel elements is nothing but a Z2 and Z4. Your parallel elements is nothing but a Z2 into Z4. Okay, this is your numerator. And coming to denominator, you may have the sum of the elements. That is nothing but a from the left side. Left side is nothing but a where you are applying the input. Okay, here the first element is Z1. First element is Z1. Z1 into, you have to start from left side. You have to start from left side. That means where you are applying the input. This side you have to start. Okay, Z1 into sum of the remaining elements. Z1 into sum of the remaining elements is nothing but a Z2 plus Z3 plus Z4. Okay, plus we have completed the Z1. Therefore, now we will start for second element, that is Z2. Okay, Z2 into sum of the remaining elements, that is nothing but a Z3 Z4. That is Z3 plus Z4. Here we have to stop for denominator 2 loops, because why we are not going for Z3? We can write plus Z3 into Z4. We can write it, but we should not write. Why we are stopping for 2 elements means for this one we have only 2 loops. For this one we have only 2 loops. This is loop 1. This is loop 2. If we have one more loop here, then you have to take the another element also. Therefore, denominator number of terms depends upon the number of loops. Number of loops will depend upon the number of terms. Okay. Therefore, you how once again I am saying how to write the transfer function for an electrical network directly. You no need to write the any KCL or KVL. Okay, in control systems, you may see that by applying the KCL and KVL for input and output side, you get a relation between output by input. Okay, no need to write those KCL and KVLs directly, which we are using in a gate exam. Okay, gate point of view, you can use this shortcut. Yes, first step is you have to write the Laplace transform for your electrical network. If we have a resistance, Laplace transform of resistance is R. Okay, R itself. If we have an inductor, Laplace transform is L into S. If we have a capacitor, Laplace transform is 1 by Cs. 1 by Cs. Okay. Therefore, here if we have an inductor, simply take the Ls. Here if we have a resistance, simply take the R. Here if we have a capacitor, 1 by Cs. Here if we have an inductor, Ls. Okay. Simply replace the Laplace transform terms in this equation, in this circuit. Okay. And then second step is write the parallel branches, okay, on the numerator. Parallel branches is nothing but a Z2, Z4. These two are the parallel branches. Therefore, take it as a numerator term. That means here if we have a capacitor means 1 by Cs into, here it is an inductor means Ls. This is your numerator. If it is a capacitor and if it is an inductor. Okay, this is your numerator quantity. And coming to denominator, you have to write the sum of the terms. How many terms in your denominator depends upon the how many loops. Okay, already you have know the how to find out the loops. Okay, here you may have the one loop and this is another loop. Okay, this is first loop and this is your second loop. Therefore, in this circuit you have, suppose if you have a one more loop means you may have the one more term. In denominator you may have the another term also. In this circuit you have a two loops. Therefore, you are restricted about two terms. Okay, first term is you have to start from left side. Okay, first Z1 into sum of the remaining terms. Z1 into sum of the remaining terms plus second term into left side terms. For this one left side. Okay, right side terms. For Z2 right side is these terms. Okay, Z3 and Z4. Okay, Z2 into Z3 plus Z4. We have to stop here. We should not write the plus Z3 into Z4. Z4. We should not write. Okay, because here we have only two terms. Here we have only two loops. Therefore, you have to write the two terms only. We should not write the third term. Okay. Therefore, this is the shortcut for your transfer function finding for an electrical network. For an electrical network, in this way, you can find the transfer function. Okay. In our subject, we have an RC, RL, and RLC network. Okay. RC, RL, and RLC network where we require directly we are using the transfer function. Okay, next topics we won't derive any equation. Directly I am going to say that transfer function of an high pass circuit. Okay, that I am going to, if you write the transfer function for a high pass circuit, if you write the transfer function is nothing but a parallel branches R. Parallel branches R and sum of the elements is nothing but a R plus 1 by CS. 1 by CS. Therefore, if you take the LCM, you may have the R C S divided by 1 plus R C S. I have taken the LCM. Therefore, RCS plus 1 divided by CS, the CS will go outside. Yeah, therefore, this is the transfer function, that is output by Laplace transform of output, that means V of S by Vi of S. Okay, this is nothing but a transfer function of your high pass circuit. Directly, I am using this expression. Okay, the transfer function of a high pass circuit is RCS by 1 plus RCS. Okay, I won't go for any derivations. Okay, directly by seeing this expression, you can write the transfer function. By seeing this circuit, you can write the transfer function. Similarly, when you are dealing with low pass circuit, then you will get a transfer function of a low pass circuit. Okay, directly by seeing the circuit, you have to write it. Okay, no need to go for any derivations. Okay, this is regarding to your transfer function. In our electronic subject, we won't call it as a transfer function. There is another name, the Laplace transform of output by input. Already you have an idea that Laplace transform of output by input, we are going to call it as gain. Okay, that is nothing but we are not going to call it as a transfer function. Gain of the circuit. Okay, gain of the circuit is nothing but a Laplace transform of output by input. Okay, in control system, we may use the notation as G. Okay, but in our electronic subject, we may use the gain as A. Okay, gain of high pass circuit. I am going to call it as a gain of high pass circuit is nothing but a RCS by 1 plus RCS. This is the gain of high pass circuit. Okay, I won't call it as a transfer function. I am going to call it as a gain. Okay, both are same meaning. Okay, Laplace transform of output by input is nothing but a gain. Okay, here we may use the notation as A instead of G. Okay, this is regarding to your high pass circuit. Okay, up to now we have seen the high pass circuit. Why we are going to call it as a high pass circuit, and what is the transfer function of an high pass circuit? Okay, what is the transfer function of an high pass circuit? Okay, if you have any doubts, okay, once again I am repeating, if you have any doubts, please unmute your mic and ask immediately. Okay, don't carry forward. Yeah, because if it is an offline sessions, we can come to Canada and you can rectify your doubts. But now it is not possible. Therefore, if you have any doubts, okay, immediately unmute your mic and ask. Okay, don't carry forward it. If you have any doubts regarding to how to find out the transfer function or what do you mean gain, what do you mean high pass circuit, immediately unmute your mic and ask. Okay, then if you won't ask any questions, I keep on going the class. Okay, I keep on saying the class itself. Okay, if you have any doubts, please unmute your mic and ask doubt immediately. Okay, this is your high pass circuit. Now we will see one by one. That means if we apply a sinusoidal input for this circuit, if we apply a sinusoidal input for this circuit, how the response will be. If we apply a step input, how the response. If we apply a square wave, how the response. Okay, we will see the one by one response. Okay, how it will be change the shape. This linear circuit will change the shape of the a non-sinusoidal input or sinusoidal input. Okay, we will see the one by one. First concept is when you apply a sinusoidal input. When you apply a sinusoidal input for a high pass circuit. See here, directly I have taken the Laplace transform model. Okay, instead of instead of XC, I have taken 1 by CS. Okay, which is a Laplace transform model of a high pass circuit. Here I have mentioned the name also, Laplace transform model of a high pass circuit. Okay, directly I have taken the Laplace transform model. Okay, if you are confused, okay, instead of in previous I have settled 1 by 2 pi FC. Okay, where yes, if you have any doubts, somebody has unmuted the mic. Okay, then this is nothing but a Laplace transform model of a high pass circuit. Okay, if we apply a sinusoidal input, for this one, if we apply a sinusoidal input for this high pass circuit, how the response will be. Okay, as if we apply a sinusoidal input V, the output keeps on increasing. The output keep on See, if we apply a sinusoidal input V, the output V naught increases with frequency. With frequency. As the frequency increases, the magnitude of the output waveform keep on increasing. Keep on increasing. Okay? Has the magnitude increasing, the output voltage also keep on increasing until lower cutoff frequency. Until lower cutoff frequency. Now here you have to know that what do you mean by lower cutoff frequency. Most of the actors of that means in EDC also you have get it, lower cutoff frequency, upper cutoff frequencies, bandwidth. These terms you are most commonly seen in your electronic subjects. Can anyone say what do you mean by lower cutoff frequency or lower 3 dB frequency? Actual meaning. So what information you are going to get at this point, at cutoff frequency? Anyone? What do you mean by lower cutoff frequency or lower 3 dB? 3 dB. What do you mean 3 dB? Okay, because in Iris lab also amplification you have CE, CB amplification. There you have tried, you have marked the lower cutoff frequency, you have calculated the lower cutoff frequency, higher cutoff frequency. In Iris lab by CE amplifier, CC amplifier. Anyone? Okay, I will explain. Remember, okay, these are the basic points. Okay, basic points you have to remember. Okay, don't forget what you may lower cutoff frequency or what you may upper cutoff frequency. Okay, don't forget this one. Okay, I may interlink. Okay, I may interrelate the cutoff frequency. In electronics, mostly they are going to say the cutoff frequencies. Okay, but in our electrical subject, we may have call it as a maximum power. Okay, maximum power. Yeah, that means already you know that maximum power transfer theorem. Maximum power transfer theorem. Okay, what it says, when the source resistance equal to load resistance, when the source resistance equal to load resistance, then maximum power will be transferred. Then the maximum power will be transferred. This is the maximum power transfer theorem says. Okay, suppose if this condition satisfied, okay, that means the source resistance and load resistance are equal. Then how much power I will get at the output terminal? Can anyone know? Suppose I may have the input has 100 watts. Input lo 100 watts only. Okay. Then what is my output power if this condition satisfied? I may get 100 as the output, or I may get some 50 as the output, or I may get 40 as the output, or I may get 80 as the output. Okay, what is the output power? This condition satisfied. If you want to say the unmute your mic and say, okay, nothing will be a problem if you say the wrong answer also. Simply the interaction should be better. Okay, if you interact with faculty, it will be interested. Okay, for faculty also to say explain the class, it will be very interested if the student interacted. Okay, therefore if you say the wrong answer also no problem. I am asking that if this condition satisfied, what will be the output power? What will be the output power? What will be the output power? Okay, if the input power is 100 watts. Anyone? Anyone? Okay. Today almost a full session. Okay, 72 members are present. Anyone respond? What will be the output power if the maximum condition is satisfied? Okay, maximum power transfer condition is satisfied. Okay, no one? Then okay, I will say if the okay, come on.
Half of its maximum value.
Yeah, very good. Okay, very good. At least one person has interacted. That is correct. Okay, when the maximum power transfer theorem is satisfied, maximum power you are going to get output is 50%. Yeah, half of the power. Okay, half of the power we are going to get at the output terminal. Okay, similar fashion, cutoff frequency is nothing but the power of the signal will be half. At which frequency the power of the frequency becomes half. That means suppose if I have a sine wave of magnitude some 6 volts, okay, it may be I may treat it as a RMS value, the RMS value. Then the power of this signal, okay, directly shortcut you can use the power of this signal is RMS square. The power of the signal is nothing but a RMS value square. Okay. Therefore, the power of the signal is nothing but a 36. The power of the signal is 36. Okay. Most commonly, you may see that at lower cutoff frequency, the magnitude will be 1 by root 2. Okay. In our waveform also, you will find out the frequency at which the magnitude is 1 by root 2. Why we are saying this 1 by root 2 means 1 by root 2 is nothing but a 0.707. Okay, 1 by root 2 is nothing but 0.707. Okay, at this magnitude, we are going to call it as it is a cutoff frequency. Okay, it is a cutoff frequency. It may be upper cutoff or lower cutoff. We are going to say that the magnitude at which 1 by root 2. Okay, the frequency at which the magnitude is 1 by root 2. That means if we multiply 6 by 0.7, if you multiply 6 by 0.7 means the 0.7% is nothing but you may get some 4.909 or something. You may get the value as the 0.7 into 6. You may get this is your magnitude. If you square it, you may get the power has some 17.9, which is exactly half of your power. Okay, that means approximately it is 18. 7.99 you may get it. It may be 18, which is half of your power. Therefore, at this magnitude, that means when this 6 becomes 1 by root 2 times. Okay, when 6 becomes 1 by root 2 times. Okay, that means the magnitude at which 0.4, at which the 4 volts or 4.09 volts, the frequency at which this magnitude we are going to call it as a cutoff frequency. I think so you have get an idea. For amp power, you should calculate the power of the signal. Okay, if you see the power at which 50% or half of its maximum. Okay, at that point, whatever the frequency you have, we are going to call it as a cutoff frequency. Okay, at cutoff frequency, whatever the magnitude you have, we are going to call it as a 3 dB magnitude. Simply, if 6 is the magnitude, you can convert it into a decibels. That is 3 dB. 20 log K. 20 log K may convert it into a decibel, dBs. If you convert it into dBs, there you may get the 3 dB. Okay, you are going to get 3 decibels magnitude. At that magnitude, your frequency is nothing but a 1 by root 2. Nothing but I am going to a single point. If we have a cutoff frequency, at that cutoff frequency, the power of the signal will be 50%. Therefore, this is the cutoff frequency. At this point, you may have the power of the input signal will be 50%. Therefore, if you see the magnitude also 0.70, 1 by root 2. Okay, 1 by root 2 magnitude. So at 1 by root 2, whatever frequency you have, you may have the. You can take a small example also. Okay, which I have explained previously. 6 volts is the. You have to know that you have to convert into power. Okay, if it is an RMS value, the power formula is RMS square. Okay, therefore 6 square 36. Okay, half of the power is nothing but 18. Okay, at this point, the power if you calculate, you may have the 18 watts. Okay, similarly, if we continue the waveform, it may comes here. Okay, this is nothing but upper cutoff frequency. At this point also, both are same point. At this point also, the magnitude of the power will be 50%. Okay, therefore these two are nothing but a cutoff frequencies. Okay, if we operate our system above this cutoff frequencies, then we can use the maximum power of our signal. Therefore, always we will see that in our electrical circuit also to satisfy the maximum power transfer condition, so that we can use the maximum power. Okay, whatever the power we have generated, that power we are going to use. Okay, when it satisfies the maximum power transfer theorem. Okay, similarly in electronic subjects, when you passes the cutoff frequencies, then the power will be maximum. Therefore, entire power of the input signal can be utilized. Okay, therefore this is the regarding your cutoff frequencies. Okay, now onwards you have to remember that cutoff frequency is nothing but a for maximum power transfer theorem. Okay, which we have seen in electrical circuit. In electronics, they may deal with cutoff frequencies. Okay, cutoff frequency. Therefore, at this point, you will have the power has 50%. Okay, and next one is for a high pass circuit, there won't be any upper cutoff frequencies because it will block the all the it will allow the higher frequencies. Therefore, the waveform will be continuing in this manner. Okay, there won't be any upper cutoff frequencies. There won't be any upper cutoff frequencies. And that also you have to remember. Okay, for a low pass circuit, there won't be any lower cutoff frequencies. There won't be any lower cutoff frequency. It will have the upper cutoff frequency. Whatever may be cutoff frequency means you should always see that a circuit should operate above this point so that maximum power you can use. Maximum power you can use. Okay, and below this point you have the minimum power. Okay, this is regarding to your when you apply sinusoidal input, how the response will be. When you apply sinusoidal input, the output will be increases linearly and maintain a constant value. And maintain a constant value under a steady state. This is your output waveform. If you apply sinusoidal input for this circuit, you may get this step. I already have mentioned that for a sinusoidal, if you go by a steady state response, the output will be a sinusoidal. Yeah, I am dealing this response only in transient state. Okay, I am not going into steady state. Yeah, I am saying entire my concept for a sinusoidal input is under transient only. Okay, I am not going for steady state. Okay, if you go for steady state, output will be sinusoidal. Okay, there won't be any discussion. This is regarding your sinusoidal input. Now we will derive. Now we will derive the cutoff frequency. Formula for cutoff frequency if I a sinusoidal input. Okay. Expression for lower cutoff frequency. Simply for high pass we have only lower cutoff. Therefore you can mention the cutoff frequency or lower cutoff frequency. Already we know that. Okay, the gain or transfer function of a high pass circuit directly R by R plus 1 by CS. R by R plus parallel element is, you have to remember this circuit. Parallel element is R and series element is capacitor. Therefore, parallel element divided by sum of the impedance, that is R by R plus. Directly you can use like this. Okay, no need to derive any KCL KVL. Okay, from that expression I had taken R as common. If I take R as common, you may get R get cancelled and you may get 1 by RCS. Okay, and if you substitute S equal to J omega, if you substitute, because now I am dealing with frequencies, I want to calculate the lower cutoff frequencies. Therefore, I am substituting S equal to J omega, and if you substitute S equal to J omega in place of omega, you may have the 2 pi f. In place of omega, if you are supply the 2 pi f, you may have the gain equal to, this is nothing but a gain formula. This is nothing but a gain equal to 1 by 1 minus j into 1 by 2 pi FRC. This is the gain formula. Now I am seeing the magnitude of gain. Magnitude. That means if we have an x plus iy in this form, complex value. Okay, x plus iy. In order to find out the magnitude, you know that formula is nothing but a root of x square plus y square. Root of x square plus y square. Since it is a complex value, the magnitude is nothing but root of x square plus y square, and phase phase difference is nothing but theta equal to tan inverse of, already have seen in our math, is tan inverse of y by x. Tan inverse of y by x. Y is nothing but complex quantity. Y by x. Okay, here also you have a x minus, if you take as common, you may have the 1 plus minus j. This is a complex quantity. This is a complex quantity. Okay, therefore you may have the magnitude is nothing but x square plus y square. X square is 1 square plus y is nothing but a minus of. Okay, here you may take as plus and here you put the minus. Okay, if you make a square, you may get a positive value. Therefore 1 by 2 pi RC whole square. X square plus y square. This is your magnitude. And coming to the phase angle, y by x. Y is nothing but a minus. Therefore, this minus side I had put before. Okay, this minus tan of minus theta. Tan of minus theta is nothing but a minus tan theta. Minus tan theta. Therefore, tan of y by x value is 1. X value is 1. Therefore, minus tan inverse of 1 by 2 pi RC. Okay, already we know that. Okay, the magnitude at which 1 by root 2 times, or the frequency at which magnitude becomes 1 by root 2 times, that frequency we are going to call as a cutoff frequency. At cutoff frequency, magnitude should be 1 by root 2 or 0.7. 0.7 will be your magnitude. Therefore, I am equating your magnitude to 1 by root 2. I am equating the magnitude to 1 by root 2 in order to find out the cutoff frequency. Okay, because at cutoff frequency we know that magnitude will be definitely 1 by root 2. Okay, at cutoff frequency the magnitude will be definitely 1 by root 2, which we have seen. Yeah, any doubt? Okay, then. Okay, at this point we have a frequency as 1 by root 2. Therefore, if you simplify this, that means if you reciprocate both and making this square, you may get 1 plus 1 by 2 pi f1c or c equal to 2. If you take it this one, you may get 1 by 2 pi f1 rc equal to 1. Okay. Therefore, you are going to having the f1 equal 1 by 2 pi rc. 1 by 2 pi rc. This is your lower cutoff frequency. This is your lower cutoff frequency. That means if we adjust the R and C values, we're coming to high pass. If we adjust the R and C values such that f1 equal to 1 by 2 pi rc, the f1, if we adjust the R and C values here and make it find out the f1 such that the magnitude should be 1 by root 2. Magnitude should be 1 by root 2. At this point, what are the frequency you are going to get? You are going to call it as a lower cutoff frequency. Always your circuit has to be operated above this point, above this frequency. Then it will be economical. You can say that maximum power you can use. Maximum power of the signal can be used because above this frequency, the signal having the power greater than 50%. Below this frequency, you may have the frequency less than 50%. Okay, this is regarding your sinusoidal input. Once again, okay, I'm going back. Once again, today class we have seen that simply briefly you observe that today class what we have seen. Today class we have seen what do you mean by high pass circuit, how to find out the transfer function for this high pass circuit, or simply we have seen that how to find out the transfer function for an electrical network. Okay, a simple shortcut. Okay, not in detailed manner by applying KCL, KVL. That shortcut how to find out the transfer function for a electrical network, and then for a high pass circuit to apply sinusoidal input, how the response will be. And what do you mean by cutoff frequency? And what is the formula for cutoff frequency for a high pass circuit when you apply a sinusoidal input? Okay, this one up to we have derived. We have discussed. So next class we will see the step response. Next pulse response. Okay, one by one we will see. Okay, one by one we will see in next classes. Up to now, what we have discussed. If you have any doubts, if you have any doubts, please unmute your mic and give a reply. If you have any doubts, please. No doubts? Okay, today absentees. Once see, today absentees is 227, 18 series. 227, 230, 233, 247, 264. And 19 series 201, 204, 211. Yeah, most of the persons I think so they have present.
Sir.
Yeah, that's what I am saying. Most of them are present, but you have came late to class.
Sir, not for present, sir.
For network no signal.
In the
227 present, sir.
227.
Present, sir.
Present है मैंने भी अच्छा class किए.
910, sir. Network problem, sir. Network problem, sir.
Network.
Sir, 9-8 को వచ్చాను sir.
910 question, sir.